I think you mentioned the Moraga fight against Mokhtarian.
Yeah, I used the total on that fight. Look, John Moraga has been in a really bad way ever since fighting for the title against Demetrius Johnson. I mean, this is a guy who was ranked #1 in the world, got a title shot against Demetrius Johnson, and is now 3-5 in his last 8 fights, including on a current 3-fight losing streak to Joseph Benavidez and Sergio Pettis in his last fight beat Moraga. But the one thing Moraga does against all those guys is he goes the distance. Yeah, he loses all these fights by decision. So I think this is a fight where he's probably going to go the distance. This is Mokhtarian's actual UFC debut, and while his record looks nice on paper at 12-1, he's never fought anybody either. Doesn't look to be an overwhelming puncher. I think Moraga is definitely good for the distance here, and I can't see him knocking anybody out. It's just not his style, so I went ahead and put that. I was going to bet it straight, but at that time I already had 3 straight bets, but I certainly would recommend over 2.5 rounds. You only have to lay -120.
That's yeah.
Seems pretty reasonable. I mean, 125ers aren't normally big finishers
No,
anyway,
yeah.
and John Moraga especially is not a big finisher, who's
Just like
proved to be durable in losses.
A fight's most likely to end in the first round. It's a heavyweight fight. Fight's most likely to go the distance. I'd say it's a flyweight fight at 125. So that's pretty good odds. Why do you think the odds aren't a little better that it's going to go the distance?
I don't know. Sometimes, you just look at guys' records. So this Mokhtarian, I think he had 6 submissions, 6 submissions, 6 KOs, and like 14 or 15 wins. So his finish rate was actually really high. But they're all against guys on the regional circuit in Australia. I'm not trying to bag on the regional circuit in Australia, but yeah, I mean, he hasn't fought anybody of the caliber of this. And so I watched a couple of his fights, and he doesn't look like the kind of guy who has big punching power. He didn't look like his punches were devastatingly powerful, and a lot of times you get a lot of submissions on the regional circuit because people aren't quite equipped at defending them yet. So